I'll take apologies for absence first, please.
Apologies from Councillor Robert Francis Davis.
Yep, thank you. Any others?
No others.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. We move on to disclosures of personal and prejudicial interests. Are there any for today's meeting? Councillor Smith?
Yeah, item 7, I'm a member of the local authority governor appointments panel, dispensation to remain but not vote. And I'm also a governor of one of the named schools.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, my name is mentioned in that same report, Leader. Do you want me to leave when that is being
Yeah, you're named in the report, so yeah. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on then to item 3, which is the minutes of the previous meeting, pages 1 to 6 of the agenda. Not had any requests for any amendments, but happy to take them. If not, happy to move them as a true record. Can I ask for a seconder, please?
Happy to second.
Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Those are agreed. Announcements to Leader Council. No announcements as such, but just I'm sure to pass on Cabinet's best wishes to Councillor Francis Davis, who's looking to have his operation tomorrow. That's why he can't be with us today. And I'm sure we all wish him the best for the operation and a full recovery. So just note that if we could. Move on to public question time. There are no members of the public, I believe, present, but have we received any questions? None received. Okay. I don't see any councillors present either. So with that, we'll move to local authority governor appointments, and we'll just pause for a second to leave Councillor Anderson leave. Okay, thank you, colleagues. Councillor Smith.
Yes, thank you, Leader. I think there are 12 appointments this morning, and I'm happy to move the report and once again express my thanks to the people that have come forward to this voluntary but very important role in the governance of our schools, Leader. So happy to move the report.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Absolutely agree and very happy to second. Are there any comments or questions for Councillor Smith? If not, then could I ask you to show if you're in favour of the report, please? Thank you very much. That is carried. And we'll just pause again for Councillor Anderson to return to the meeting. Okay, colleagues, we'll move then to agenda item 8, which is the Welsh Housing Quality Standard Compliance Policy, and I'll go to Councillor Lewis.
Thank you, Leader. I'm happy to move the recommendation on page 13, which is that the policy is approved by Cabinet and then published as per Welsh Government requirements. So this is a Welsh Government standard, which is further enhancing the original Welsh Housing Quality Standard. Really proud to note to date that we as a local authority and as an administration have already invested over £500 million in our council homes. We have over 13,800 properties now. This standard takes it to the next level, but just to draw attention to parts of the policy in the report, the technical assessment will establish the energy performance certificate rating for every property. We'll then prepare and submit a target energy pathway for each individual property and commission a periodic stock assessment, probably every 5 years, and establish a baseline of our current compliance. So in terms of the target energy pathways, the Council, with the support of external consultants, will provide a TEP report capturing the energy efficiency baseline of all the homes. And this will help us set out the targets for the SAP 75 and SAP 92 ratings to support our future capital investment programme. It's a significant element of work. It's going to cost, we've estimated, around £900 million to bring our housing up to that level and standard, which we currently don't have. So we are going to need discussion with Welsh Government in terms of additional funding to enable us to reach this standard. And just as a reminder for Cabinet, when we set out the priorities for our capital investment programme, this was the lowest priority due to the fact that we don't have the funding currently to be able to carry this out. So essentially, we support Welsh Government's ambitions to improve the quality of our stock in terms of energy efficiency for the benefit of our tenants. But until we have additional further funding, this is going to be difficult, if not impossible, to carry out. Very happy to move the report. I'm very happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Councillor Lewis, and can I thank you and the officers for the work they've done on this report. And as you say, our ambition remains to reach these new standards, but we will require that financial assistance to do so, because I don't think any council or local authority will be able to reach that standard without some external help from government. So with that, very happy to second the report and open it up for questions or comments. Councillor Lewis? If there aren't any, could I ask you all to show if you're in favour of the report, please? Thank you very much. That is carried. We'll move then to agenda item 10. Sorry, agenda item 9, which is the draft Tackling Poverty Strategy 25 to 30. I think Councillor Anthony has a medical appointment this morning, so won't be joining. So in her absence, I'll take the report. The strategy is the first update to the Tackling Poverty Strategy since 2017, and it focuses on the key visions of early help, better outcomes and less poverty. I want to thank Amy Hawkins and Lee Campbell for the work that they've done in creating this report, which sets out this clear strategy for 25 to 30. We've made some really great strides in the last few years in terms of assisting people to get out of poverty, to help them while they are dealing with the impacts of poverty, and a number of those will again be seen both this winter and this summer as part of the programmes of work that we play out and deliver to our communities. But of course, dealing and helping to reduce poverty is something that we focus on year-round. There is an excellent summary attached to the report, which outlines the key aims. And again, it's in an easy readable format, which I think is a really good way of helping people to understand what we are doing on poverty. And I'll just draw your attention to page 41. Page 40, where the diagram there shows how we are intervening and what we're trying to do with each of the elements that can affect or trap people within poverty, from housing to fuel and energy, clothing and footwear, food and water, finance, exclusion from services, and emotional and relationship aspects. So again, a comprehensive poverty. As I said, my thanks to Councillor Anthony and the team for the work that they continue to do on this. I think this update is an excellent draft policy and very much recommend it to Cabinet. The recommendations are there on page 32. So with that, I'm very happy to move the report. Could I ask for a seconder, please?
Happy to second.
And again, open it out now to Cabinet members who may wish to comment. Councillor Gibbard.
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that I know that there's been a lot of consultation gone into make this strategy. It's been co-produced with people with lived experience with poverty, building on the work of the Poverty Truth Commission. I'm sure Councillor Anthony would want me to point that out. And obviously, it's a living, breathing document. This is something that we're going to be building on over time, and it's a lot of work. Also, but come to the STC committee as well. So great to have the input of that as well. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Gibbard, and very wise to point that out. And again, the references in the report to the work done under the Poverty Truth Commission are also important factors where we've demonstrated how we've used that lived experience to help create the strategy going forward. So thank you for that, Councillor Gibbard. With that then, are there any other comments or questions on this report? If not, it's been moved and seconded. Could I all ask you to show if you're in favour of the report, please? Thank you very much. That is agreed. So we'll move then to agenda item 10, which is the Q4 and end of year performance monitoring report 24-25. I'll go to Councillor Hopkins.
Yeah, thanks, Leader. The examples of strong performance during 2024. I think what we must recognise that there've been some strong performance, particularly about our wellbeing objectives of 184 steps, 75% remain green. We're looking at safeguarding people from harm. We've had an increased number of social workers. improving educational skills, improvements to pupil attendance and for Welsh learners, transforming our economy. I would say performance against quarterly performance indicators are excellent. Tackling poverty and enabling communities, as we just heard, some of the great work on in the anti-poverty team. But I would say during this year, we've got 660 people helped into employment and over £1 million against poverty grants issued. Delivering against climate change and nature recovery, climate signatories have launched Project Zero initiative and more widely across the council. And transforming financial resilience, we thankfully with a balanced budget by 2025 and workforce improvements, including a revised sickness absence policy. There were a number of challenges across the authority, including increased demand in social care. We obviously got a very difficult financial climate and housing homeless pressures. And I know there's a lot of work going in to mitigate some of them risks. At the end of Q4, the council's strategic risk issues remain broadly stable with no major overall risk profile. Happy to move the report, Leader.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Hopkins. And as you say, a continued improving picture and some really good examples of good council delivery in there. But as always, some areas for us to reflect on and to ensure we continue to improve upon. So again, I'll happily second the report formally, but open it out to Cabinet members who may wish to draw attention to areas within their portfolio. Councillor Lewis.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you to Councillor Hopkins for the report. Following on from what Councillor Hopkins was saying about Project Zero, it has been really gratefully received and very well implemented. And there was a scheme where we looked to Swansea University for someone in graphic design to help us with the symbol that we are now using to market Project Zero and bring the public on board in terms of the small things and the big things that you can do to reduce your carbon emissions. So that's been really, really great. And my thanks to the team for that. The report does note that we remain in red in terms of homelessness and pressures do continue. We're looking forward to seeing Llys Glas coming online towards the end of this year, which will help us in terms of reducing the number of people in B&Bs, and there'll be much better improved accommodation in Llys Glas. And we're also looking at further opportunities in that respect. But even though we've got continuing pressures, I'm really proud to say that as a local authority, we're still maintaining our Always a Bed pledge. And that, you know, the frontline staff are working tirelessly to help people if they do happen to become homeless. And there's a huge amount, which is rarely recognised in terms of the amount of prevention that the teams are doing. So, you know, we're having over 4,000 people presenting as homeless every year, and the teams are continuing to work. And it's a reflection that we've seen around 325 people in temporary and emergency accommodation. But those presentations are around 4,000. So, you know, that's just showing the excellent effort that the team are doing, and just to acknowledge that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Lewis. Absolutely right. And again, homelessness is something that is affecting all local authorities across the UK. But again, the commitment that we have to the Always a Bed pledge and the fact that the teams are working so diligently to help people into homes or to keep them from becoming homeless is really to be applauded. So thanks to yourself and the teams for the work that are being done there. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thanks, Leader, and thanks, Councillor Hopkins, for bringing the report. I'm happy to echo the comments that have been made by colleagues so far. I'm pleased to highlight the strong overall improvements this quarter, particularly in delivering significant infrastructure improvement. Our Mumble Sea defences project is nearing completion, and the promenade is looking absolutely spectacular, with landscaping, widened pathways, and upgraded facilities, significantly enhancing the area and protecting the village for generations to come. And as you're well, Leader, an official opening is scheduled to take place, and so this will be a great opportunity to showcase this major investment that's protecting our coastline while improving public space. on other elements of my portfolio. We've also continued to prioritise our investment in roads, with substantial progress in highway maintenance and resurfacing programmes across Swansea. And alongside our roads investment, good progress is being made with our LED street lighting replacement, tree planting, and various biodiversity improvements, reflecting our ongoing commitments to delivering high quality, sustainable infrastructure for Swansea. So I just want to put a record on thanks to officers in across the authority, and happy to support the report.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Stevens, and thanks again to the work that you and the officers are doing around a range of interventions, not least, as you referenced, the dramatic change and improvements around the Mumbles coastline, as you say, which are not just will give a boost to Mumbles, but will protect that community for many generations. So thank you for that. Councillor Smith.
Yes, thank you, Leader. And I'd echo the thanks to officers for the way that this report has been presented, and also Councillor David Hopkins for presenting the report. I think in my portfolio, I draw attention to important progress around inclusion, the work to expand the specialist teaching facilities, the work in terms of children that are being educated other than at school. I think there are strengths there, and also the way that we've been able to sharpen the way we support schools so that schools are helped to respond to what are national and changing national standards, changing national priorities. There is good progress reported there in terms of the Siarter Iaith and also vocational learning, which I know has been an issue that's been very prominent on the agenda of our STFs and some other committees as well. And I think that again is promising. On the kind of capital side of the programme, we are steadily investing in school catering facilities, both to meet the needs of the Universal Free School Meals programme, but also I think this has provided an important boost to school catering facilities that was long overdue, and I think that's it's good to see that being delivered. And likewise, the Sustainable Communities for Learning programme, we have projects now that are being developed, there are reports coming to Cabinet, there are reports being signed off as we speak, and I think that is a sign of what will be an important and an exciting investment in the school estate here in Swansea. So very proud of this report, Chair and Leader, and thank the officers that have played a part in delivering it.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Smith, and again, fully agree with your comments, and again, thank you and the officers for the work that's been done. As you say, one thing that struck me is a series of announcements coming out in England now from the UK government talking about investments in education, doing things that have been done in Wales for many years, and we're well ahead of England in terms of the progressive nature of how we support our young learners, and again, good to see England catching up with Wales in terms of what we do with education. I'll go now to Councillor Gibbard.
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, just briefly, just want to pick up as Councillor Hopkins has already said. You know, I feel like I say this every quarter that the challenges are still strong in social services. There's no let up in the increased demand that we're getting at our front door. So obviously we are missing some of those targets there. However, we are making really strong progress towards our move towards our target operating model, which is greater focus on our early help and prevention, and that's not in this report, but making some really good progress there, which is hopefully going to flow through into bringing down that demand on those statutory indicators. So again, I always want to put on record my thanks to our social services staff, both in adult and child and family services, who are working incredibly hard in difficult circumstances.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Gibbard. And again, sound like a broken record, but it is important. Thank you and your officers for the work being done in social care. Again, some huge challenges there. We knew that last year, which is why significant additional investments gone into social care to try and assist officers in delivering those services. But again, we should be very proud of what we're achieving in very difficult circumstances across the social care portfolio. So thank you very much, Councillor Gibbard. Anybody else have any comments or contributions? If not, the report again has been moved by Councillor Hopkins and seconded by myself. So could I all ask you to show if you're in favour of the report, please? Thank you very much. That is approved. In Councillor Francis Davis's absence, then I will take agenda item 11, which is Swansea Central Block B FPR 7. This report seeks approval to release 2.95 million in capital programme, including a 700,000 variance of the reimbursement for Copper Bay budget. Copper Bay, as you know, will see the establishment of a number of new blocks focused on both retail, office and educational needs. Block B would be the first step into that development and will allow the council to vacate the civic centre and occupy part of that building. It's also important to note that this is a staged release of capital because we haven't yet got cost certainty in terms of the full scheme, so this is allowing us to move that forward. It also asks for a variance in terms of our letting strategy. One of the things that we've been working hard to do is to talk to government departments, both governments, UK and Welsh Government, around potential occupations of the building. We house a number of government department functions in the current civic centre, so our hope is that those would move to the new building, and that will allow us to progress that. But also, we shouldn't limit ourselves to just government departments. There is demand from private sector organisations for quality office accommodation in Swansea. We've seen really strong demand for the new 71-72 Kingsway building. So again, the opportunity here for us to look at additional tenants to go into that building. And as overall, the wider Swansea Central Copper Bay scheme will bring around 300,000 square feet of new high-quality office and mixed-use commercial space to the city centre, which is hugely important if we are to continue to regenerate the city centre. So the report contains a lot of detail around how that's made up, what the fabric of the building will look like. We've already seen artists' designs of the proposed block and the location map for the city centre. So again, I know Councillor Francis Davis has worked extremely hard to push this one forward, and I commend him for his efforts. I'd also like to place on record all of the work done by officers Lee Richards and others to move this one forward, and for Mr. Smith and his team for the work that's been done to help with the financing. It is again a part of our collaboration with Urban Splash, our strategic partners who are charged with helping us to develop and deliver 7 strategic sites across Swansea. And again, it'll be a further boost to the city centre. So again, with that, happy to remove the report and would welcome somebody seconding, please. Thank you, Councillor Lewis.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. Very happy to second and very much echo your comments on the thanks to all involved. It's been a huge amount of work to get us to this stage, and it's great to see this report here today.
Thank you very much for that. Any comments or questions on the report? If not, the recommendations are there on page 123. I will ask you to show if you're in approval, please. Thank you very much. That is unanimous. We now move to item 12, which is exclusion of the public. The Chief Legal Officer's outlined the rationale for exclusion. Are you all happy to agree? Thank you very much. Then we'll go into private session. I will just pause while we hold the recording.